Auction clearance rates. Everyone expects that everyone knows what it means. We're going to teach you how to be a ninja when it comes to auction clearance rates. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Good morning, people. Mr.
Billy,
Mark
the
Novak.
old man stuck in a young man's body. How are you this morning?
Fantastic. Look, I'm excited for this because I reckon it's actually never been easier as a consumer to read the play and become a ninja at tracking the property market. But you've got to look at the right numbers. It's quite easy to also be led in the wrong direction because there's a lot of information out there.
Did you know that 1 in 4 properties are auctioned in New South Wales?
1 in 4. I would have thought it'd be higher.
Yep.
I would have thought it'd be higher. Look, we've got some good data for you this morning. If you're a numbers person, stay tuned. You're about to get the key insights across the state, and we can dive down into suburbs as well. What's going on out there, just broadly speaking, this time of year? It's now 24th of November. Seasonally, this time of year, everyone thinks it starts to quieten down, but it's quite busy actually. Can we just maybe put a 30-second highlight on that snapshot?
Yeah, it's also a bit of a milestone for the end of auction bookings. I think this week will be the week where no more auctions are booked, because traditionally you'll have a 4-week campaign, and 4 weeks is going to take you bang into Christmas Day if you're booking at the moment. So I think it's marking the end. So the auctioneers are probably starting to take their foot off the accelerator a little bit. They're not doing their bookings. And the market itself, it's hot. We looked at some of the data compared to last year, and it's a really solid property market across Sydney.
Yeah. I was talking with an auctioneer on Thursday. He said his last booking's the 13th of December this year, and spring arrived very late this year. It was funny in a way. We thought a lot of the stock would come on much earlier. It didn't. It came on a bit later, and so we're going to get out of the calendar year this year. We'll finish later this year and come back reasonably same time after Jan, 21st of Jan. So yeah, it's still quite busy out there. But yeah, I think 4-week campaigns, if they're launching now, it's getting into that bit of a Christmas territory.
Solid. So Billy, what do you know about auctions? What can you teach us about auctions today?
All right, well, we've got some really good numbers for you here. Now, to get these numbers, it's not on domain or realestate.com. Those numbers can be skewed. The reason they're skewed is because the data is pulled from agents directly being asked to report their auction results on the day. They're not accurate, because if you're an agent, you've just had your auction, you're not reporting it's sold, you're probably exchanging contracts. If it's not sold, you're probably doing a negotiation in the background. You're not reporting it's still not sold. And so the data can be delayed from what's being reported live on the ground. RP data is quite different. It aggregates all the data from the last 12 months and actually gives you a table to follow. So I'm going to unplug me here and put that in as a share screen. Then you can have a chat over the top.
While you're doing that, it's interesting what you're saying, because I find that sometimes agents talk in that speak where they expect that you know what happened in the months before, the year before, the year before that. So they expect when they say, days on market, for example, is 32 days on market, you're like, oh, is that good or is that bad? Auction clearance rates is much the same, where you're actually looking at auction clearance and you're going, well, I know that it's 60-something, 62% or 68%, but is that a good number or a bad number? So I like looking at that at the RP data ones, because they put the information over a 12-month period. They compare it to the year before. So I think that's super important.
So have a look at this. Like from a dashboard perspective, it's interesting to see bar two, but states there's everything in the green here.
Oh, I tried to put you up, Billy. That didn't help.
No, that's fine.
What did I do there?
Just got that. That's all good. Everything's in green here. So we're comparing, like, to get a gauge on the temperature of the market. Auction clearance rates is one indicator. Days on market is another indicator we track very closely. But when auction clearance rates are up, it suggests that the market is moving in a positive direction. Then let's take this into a bit more detail with Sydney. So this is the week end 23rd November. You can see
Oh,
the big number in the middle, 68.5% for Sydney. And it gives you a breakdown of what was accounted for on the weekend. So there was a 1,136 available results. 301 of those sold prior, 264 at auction, 7 after, 154 withdrawn, and 109 passed in. Interesting numbers.
can you hear me now?
You just removed yourself. Say that again.
I'm just trying to expand that out for you. But Billy, what does that mean on that orange? Does that mean that the markets? It looks like we've had a big improvement in the last couple of weeks. Clearance rates have just gone really well.
Yes. Yeah, so if you follow the last year,
Is that the orange the last year?
Yeah, orange is current year. Blue is previous year. Blue.
Oh.
Blue. There's a big difference. It's like 79%, 68.5, compared to about 50, 59.
So it looks like we're about 20% better this year with clearance rates.
About 10.
10%.
Sorry, about 29. Yeah, 20%. Yeah.
Geez, that's nice. So it's clearly across this, and this, guys, what I love about this is New South Wales.
10%.
This is the whole damn state.
Yeah.
And I love also that it's reported by Land Titles Office, so it's super rock solid, strong data, because it's not relying on what's coming out of an agent's mouth. It's relying on the paperwork of settled properties. With Land Titles Office. So yeah, that's really interesting, eh?
Now, what I will say is it's the best of the auction data. However, I still think it's got its flaws, because if you look at the withdrawn, passed in, and sold after auction, though all of those three can be moved around. So really, if I'm an agent, I don't stop working on the property after I've been trying to sell it for 4 weeks just because it didn't sell at auction. I think you find that's quite probably misrepresented in a way, because I think there'll be a lot more sold after, and I think there'll be a lot more sold after as stock levels taper off for Christmas. If vendors are still impartial to selling, why would you not be reaching out to them and matchmaking them with a buyer that wants to buy? 7, I think, is very low.
What's perfect data look like? It doesn't exist. You're always going to be able to throw sticks at it, throw rocks at it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's always going to be something like that. But this is strong. I like it. And how do you access this? You ask a local real estate agent?
Yeah, ask a local real estate agent. Look, I think rather than getting tied up in the numbers down below, I like to look at the flow of the chart, the 12-month average, because that actually does give you a really good idea, and you can see the market has picked up. The other thing you look at is days on market, as I said, and let's just touch on that. Why?
Would it influence your purchase whether auction clearance rates were high or low?
Look, I think it's sentiment at the end of the day. It's buyer sentiment. It's how people feel.
Sure, but what if you were buying? Would you say, "Oh, look, okay, well, that's a good excuse to wait," or I should buy now, or it wouldn't really matter?
Wouldn't matter. I'd just focus on right property, right price, and can you service the loan? Great, go do it.
Paralysis by analysis.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong, people do get tied up in the sentiment of it, and they see auction clearance rates at an all-time high, and they think, well, this is only going to get worse. It's fear of missing out. It's it does add to the overall feeling.
Oh, and I actually had I had a deep and meaningful chat with someone that I love on the other night, and it was all about paralysis by analysis. So I've got to say, on finishing up today, this is great to know this information. But this particular person I know is an analyst at a high level in real estate and first home buyer. And I said, buddy, chum, mate, 12 months. You've been looking for stuff, analysis, paralysis. You've left 100,000 on the table. I said, you're now buying the same thing of what you're looking at 12 months later for 100,000 more. Do you agree? And he said, absolutely. So I was like, go get a bag of cash with $100,000 and throw it off the harbour bridge. Your cash. So my point is today, there's some great analytics for you to look at. But the bottom line, if you can do it and you want to do it and you can service the debt like Billy said, do it now.
Yep. There you go. The best time to buy property was yesterday.
That's it. Have a great day. It's a beautiful day.
See you
Billy
later.
Bob. Thanks. Bye.